So, after my fateful encounter with Tex, I guess I became an assassin. I like the term assassin a little bit better than hitman. Hitman has a little too many negative connotations, and besides, it isn't as cool. I mean, anything about anybody can be a hitman, really. I mean, the mob has hitmen. Drug dealers have hitmen. Assassins, on the other hand, are cool. There's a mystique to the word assassin. CIA has assassins. The KGB has assassins. Ninjas are assassins. So yeah, I'm an assassin. That's the term I like. There's certain nuances, to being an assassin. Certain little things that may not be apparent at first glance, but some of them are pretty apparent. One thing, it's kind of a good idea not to be seen by a whole lot of people when you're doing the hit. Another thing is, generally when you're trying to prove that you took somebody out, headshots are not a good idea. Your client might actually want to recognize the face of the person you just took out, just to make sure you're not just bringing in any Joe Schmo you knocked off the street. It's important to know. So in cases like that, sometimes you might find a client who actually wants you to bring the head of the guy that you took out, which is pretty grim. Guns don't really help in that instance. Well, they help to take the guy out, but they're not exactly going to get the head for you. That's why I carry swords. Alright, keep up with the jokes about bringing blades to a gunfight. Swords, though, are very important. Think about it. Swords don't run out of bullets. So if the goons you're after run out of bullets, and you still got your blade, you're still in business. I always carry swords. Anyways, that's just some of the little tips. I'd tell you more, but I don't want anybody being an assassin. It's cutting into my bread and butter. Tex usually was the guy who brought in some of the jobs. Well, technically, I wasn't really working for him. More that he was just bringing these jobs for me every now and then to let me know about something new that was coming along. And he tended to bring in some pretty weird ones. Like that one time that we had to take out a different assassin team. I kind of have certain scruples, like on people that I go after. I mean, there's certain people that I won't kill. Innocent people, like old people who've never done anything wrong, people who aren't in the criminal business, nerdy smart types. People like that I try not to go after, unless there's a good reason. But the type of people that I will go after, the really scum of the earth, the unscrupulous types that you could kind of do without. Like drug kingpins, be crazy terrorist types, so not the types you might be thinking of, mob bosses, crazy insane criminal types, corrupt police officers, televangelists, those type of people are the ones that I, feel a need to render my services for. Well, against, not for, I don't work. But yeah, this time I was going after an assassin's team. Not usually my line of work at this point, but it sounded like fun. He always comes up with the weird things. He said we had to meet up in somebody else's place first. He always seems to know people to hang out with or lay low with for a while. Tex seems to know a whole lot of people. A whole lot of people. A hell of a lot of people, now that I think about it. Scary how many people just seem to know Tex. You could be just like maybe mentioning his name in a conversation and the person be like, "Oh, Tex, I know that guy." Though, actually it's not like, I gotta take that back, it's not like everybody knows him. More like the more interesting types seem to know a bit about him. Generally, the more unorthodox you are, the more of a chance you've probably bumped into Tex. And you seem to kind of be hooked into his world. Really, really hooked into his world. Kind of scary when thinking about it. But yeah, he decided we need to meet up at this one dude's place first. Yet another person who knows him. The guy we met up with was pretty cool. Had like a lot of metal all over his face, and his library was huge. I mean huge. Probably had like, alright, maybe saying that it was like the Lost Library of Alexandria is going a little bit too far. But it was huge! I mean, it was just like there was a whole lot of books in there. I got lost for at least a good 3 hours checking out all the different books. I can read a lot of books for an awfully long time. I could probably live my entire life with just like a few sandwiches, several good books, and a good mug of green tea. Anyways, we just laid around his place, and apparently this guy seemed to have known of our plans too. I don't think he was an assassin. But then again, sometimes you don't know in this line of work. We then had to meet up at some club somewhere, and I had to take this team out. And they weren't exactly the people who I thought they were. See, we were supposed to wait in front of the club, so we're in front of the club, and I'm waiting there. And I see these guys coming out with business suits and all that, and metal-looking briefcases, and sunglasses, and suspicious looks. So I'm thinking they're the guys I need to take out. So I'm getting ready to move in, and then text says on the phone, I had a phone on. For some reason, he felt the need to keep in touch. He had a lot of personal stake on this particular job, I think. Anyways, it says on the phone, not yet. How the hell do you know? Was he watching from somewhere? But he goes, not yet. And then I'm thinking, okay, they're waiting for the leader. And then this leader comes out, and I'm thinking, okay, that's the guy. And he says, not yet. And then the weirdest part happened. 3 women showed up wearing like an alternated version of Japanese schoolgirl uniforms. Don't ask me, I'm just simply relating the way I saw it. 3 girls in this weird Japanese uniform stuff. They show up, and the guys are smiling at them. Apparently, I think they were part of some type of act in the club or something. And then they pull out weapons, and they blow the guys away. Then I hear on the phone, they're the ones you need to take out. You gotta be kidding me. The Japanese schoolgirl team? They weren't Japanese schoolgirls, though. I mean, for one thing, they were all Caucasian, and for another thing, to be a schoolgirl, you kind of have to be in your teens, and they looked like they were around their late 20s or early 30s at best. But they still looked pretty good. Really good. Damn good. Yeah, they looked really good. And to the point where other assassins probably wouldn't have had the nerve to actually kill them off. I could, though. Hey, don't look at me like that. I got house payments. You have no idea how mortgages can affect your decisions. So, let off a couple of shots, blasted a couple of them. One of them was dodging behind a car. Had to try to blast through there, couldn't get to her. And then all of a sudden I hear a sniper shot from somewhere else and took her out. And then he says on the phone, job's done. Who the hell was the guy with the sniper rifle? Where was the guy with the sniper rifle? I don't think I'm ever gonna know. Real good snipers, you never know who they are, where they're shooting from. I think I need to learn how to snipe. Yeah, that was that particular job. Tex never told me who wanted to get that job done, why we had to take that team out, why the hell they happened to have been dressed in Japanese schoolgirl uniforms. He didn't tell me much of anything with that job, just that I had to kill him, that the money was coming. It's a good amount of money. It made me pay for the house payment for 2 months. House payments are expensive. Okay, so I used the rest of it to buy a couple of new blades. Oh, I'm sorts. And all right, green tea. Most of it went to green tea. Leave me alone. It's a strange world that I've gotten wrapped up in. Really, really strange. And it gets weirder.